Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I have to tell you this to me was a very important video about setting boundaries, and when I first sat down to do this, I sat down and I went through the video, and it's a long video compared to some of my others. And when I went to go back to edit the video, I realized I didn't press record until after I had done the video, which doesn't help. So instead of getting 20 minutes or whatever of the video, I got like 13 seconds of me saying I'm saving the video. So I was very heartbroken that I missed that, because when you're on a roll with something and when something's in your head and you want to get it out, it's much better in the first take than to keep going on and on and on about it. So anyway, welcome back to the channel. This self-discovery question now is: what boundaries do you need to implement to better protect your time, energy and resources? Let's try this one again. So I don't think most of us, especially women, really sit back and look at what it is that we're spending our time, energy and resources on. We tend to be the ones that multitask. We get through the days, weeks, months and years when we're looking after kids and family, pets and work. We have those like 100 things to do on a to-do lists. And we're doing that juggling act that we feel that we don't have time to reassess what is actually costing us. We're usually too busy with what needs to get done right now for our daily tasks and that, and what needs to be completed, than to what has to be done in the next day and the next day and the next day, or what actually we want done over a period of time. But not stopping and assessing where we are and what we're doing with our time and energy and those resources can be our worst investment of life. Now, this is where we need to really look at this as an investment. Well, I feel it's best to look at it as an investment. If you can make a priority to sit back and look at not what currently your life is about, but where you would like to be, because currently you can be so overwhelmed. So let's look at where you would like to be. Are you getting the most value from your time for the things that you want to achieve and for the person that you want to be? Are you doing the things that you love? And if not, why are you investing your time in it? Time is something you can't get back. Once it's gone, it's used. So why are you spending your time into these things? Why are you spending your energy on the things that don't give you that fulfillment in life and don't make you happy? Or maybe you think that they do, you just haven't worked out really what you want to do in order to follow the dreams that you want. Say maybe when the kids are up, grown up, those sort of dreams, or you've always wanted to finish school, or you always wanted to do something, but you've got kids or a husband or a job or that. These are the times where I feel that we need to set boundaries to be able to fulfill those dreams too, while we're still living our current life. I'm not saying you pack your bags, you leave your job, your husband behind and start fresh, although there's probably some people out there that's probably what's best suited for them. What I'm saying is you need to stop what you're doing. Just take a minute to make a list of what you want in life. What type of person do you want to be? What type of things do you want to achieve at work? Are you happy in your work? With family, what you want? With your own sanity? And then look at your current situation. How can you set boundaries that allow you to spend that time better? How can you set boundaries that your energy and resources, whether it's money, materials, assets, or whatever it is, can be better spent? Is there a way you can tweak your life to make it start being better, not only for you, but for those around you? Now, this is about you. So when you change things with things around you, when you are a better person, when you feel better about yourself, when you're happier, it will resonate to other people and other people will feel better and happier. Believe it or not, people need boundaries too. We're taught at an early age that there is boundaries. You can't do this, you can't touch the hot things, you can't walk across the road, you can't do all that sort of stuff. But in order to become the person we want to achieve, we're not taught as an adult how to set boundaries and whether it is okay to set these boundaries. I'll give you my examples, and it's only over the years of having our own business that we found ourselves in a situation that we practically lived in the shop. We had a house, but we spent so much time in the shop, and sometimes it was overnight we were working and we would nap on the couch because there wasn't enough time to go home. Our time was dedicated to keeping that shop running. Our social life, personal life, and life as a couple, it just didn't exist. There was lots and lots of arguments. There was sleep deprivation. There was frustration with customers, staff, suppliers, ongoing saga that goes with owning your own business. All that sort of stuff was going on. It was just a constant wheel chugging around in your head. This is going on. Oh, now this is going on. We felt that every minute of the day was dedicated to either working or sleeping. And there was many times when sleeping was just a luxury that we couldn't afford. Now, I'm not saying that we didn't love our customers and love our staff and love what we did and that. It was just so hard on our mental and our physical health and our relationship that it was destroying us. So we made the decision to sell up everything. That's the shop, so the business we had, the house that we were in, we were actually renting, but we sold all our possessions and everything, and to live a more simple, carefree life, obviously traveling and in a caravan. We've already mastered the art of being frugal. We had mastered that when we were in the business, because you have to be able to put as much back into the business. So spending privately or personally your own money, you keep that to a limit. We couldn't go out anywhere anyway, and we didn't spend money on ourselves. Well, very rarely did we spend money. So because of those limits too, it was like everything got poured back into the business. So we learnt to live a frugal life, something more simple. I think the frustration of giving yourself to the business and the customers made us realise that our time is valuable and we need to be doing some of those things that we've been missing out on. But 12 months after we sold the shop, excuse me, I realised although we were travelling, I was still not totally doing what I wanted with my time, and my energy was depleted. I wasn't happy with my situation. Hubby was over the moon. He was living this life that he absolutely loved. He loved our new arrangement of travelling. Me, on the other hand, I miss the structure. I miss the to-do lists. I thrive on goals and doing things that I have always wanted to do. I'd gone from baking though to editing videos for our other YouTube channel. And I had hurt myself prior to us travelling. It was giving me a lot of pain, and it was hard for me to walk for long periods of time. I had to sleep in a recliner, one of our recliners, and if I tried to lay down, it would pinch a nerve, and then I couldn't move or get up. It was just it wasn't fun. I would be going, I can't move, and my husband be going, what can I do? I go, nothing, I can't move, and he would just be frozen too because he didn't know what to do. He felt helpless. I think most of my unhappiness about traveling was mainly because of this injury I had. I'd even lost interest in doing YouTube late last year because of the time it was taking away from me actually living life. And being in pain in that, it's draining and you're tired all the time. This is where my first boundary came in. I hired an editor, and honestly, it's the best thing I've done. I get back 3 days per week. It was spending me 3 days. I took 3 days per week actually editing videos. So for every minute of a video, it would take me about an hour to edit and put together. Plus we had a lot of video coming in and from us doing it, and photos, and my husband likes to take 1,000,001 photos of dead trees is the joke. It costs me a lot in my happiness, and I was so happy to pay someone to get that time back and to get my mentality free. I still do the thumbnails. I still wanted to do the thumbnails, and I just allow the editor to do the edits. And plus, having a third party looking at our videos was a lot better. We could tweak them better, and it still will develop over time, but it was allowing the audience to not see the extended version of us. It was shortened down to be more interesting. It also allowed me to start this channel and to work on really finding myself and who I wanted to be moving forward in life. These are more personal videos, and it's more me talking, so I tend to edit these myself, so I don't pass these on to the editor, because I'm basically talking from my heart and from my experience, so there's not a lot of editing to be done. I'll give you another example. I'm retired. I retired early, and my husband retired early. So you would think that we would have so much time. Retired people have all the time in the world, right? Well, that's what it says, and it just isn't the case. Yes, we have more time. My time isn't taken up by work commitments. So my 15 hours a day, 7 days a week isn't filled with business activities. I don't spend every waking minute trying to solve the challenges that go on with owning a business and having employees, dealing with suppliers, customers, the cost of everything always increasing and having to adjust things and prices and that. There was just no balance between social business life because there just wasn't a social life to have. What I do find is that because you're retired, it is assumed that you have all the time in the world and that you're willing to give out it freely to everybody else. This is where you really need to set boundaries. And I think it's so important when you're retired that, and it's sometimes hard to stick to boundaries because one, if you don't know them, and two, if you haven't set them. You need to protect yourself, otherwise you'll find that others around you, whether they're family, friends, or just people passing, passing your life, they will spend that time doing things and getting you to do things that they want you to do. And you will find that all those years that you've longed to spend doing the things that you love most have gone to somebody else. So let me explain my situation. I volunteer with 2 organisations. One relates to helping humans, which I've been doing for over 5 years in a different capacity. It doesn't matter if I'm travelling or not, I can still help out. And the other is with animals, which I've only recently started because I love animals, and it isn't logic due to travelling that we get a dog at the moment. Being in national parks, you're not allowed to take domestic animals. So maybe I should get a wombat or something to take with me. So I'm working with the animals and also making items for them so they can raise money to better help the animals and the location that they're at. This is how I work my volunteer work. Now, this is my setting boundaries. All right? I allocate 1 day per week to each of my volunteers and 3 hours per day. That doesn't include traveling to and from. And that is hands-on at the location. That's, of course, if I'm not traveling Australia at the time. Obviously, I can't do it then. These are set days. Once is a Tuesday and once is a Thursday. So that will give me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 5 days out of the week where I can do whatever I want. That I am free to rest, relax, catch up with friends, do things on my parents' property, travel, anything I want to do, I can do that. If I'm making items for either of them, because both of them require items, that I can do it when I want to do it. I'm not having to do it because they ask me to do it. Well, they ask, but I don't have to do it. I like to use my hands when I'm relaxing at night, and obviously when I'm talking. If I want to be creative, I'll do things then with no pressure. So if I'm wanting to do some knitting for them, I'll do some knitting. If I'm wanting to do some sewing, I'll do some sewing. That's all done mainly like at night time because I like to do things with my hand. My only variance to this Tuesday and Thursday is on Tuesday, one of the ladies I work closely with if she goes away on a Friday, which is not often, but if she goes away on a Friday, I can't be there on a Friday, I will come in on that Friday so they don't fall behind, because we do painting on some items. So she's the only other one that paints. Beside, there is a lady who takes some stuff away, but there's a lot to be done. So I will come in on the Fridays, and on a Thursday, if they're lacking volunteers, or say the vets have been there longer or something, I will stay longer on those days. Other than that, I stick to those boundaries. I won't do volunteer work on weekends or any other day during the week. That's me. My purpose of this is so I have got the other days to build my YouTube channel, be around people, and do the things that I want to do. And some of that is helping out other people, but I've got that choice now. I'm dedicating Tuesdays and Thursdays to them. The rest of the time is mine. It is so easy to get roped into feeling guilty, especially as a volunteer organisations. They need help, and don't get me wrong, they do need help. But I had to wake up to the fact that I'm not there to solve all their problems. I'm there to give them what I have to give, and that's enough. I still want to spend time with myself and in my own space doing the things that I have wanted to do, trying new things, exciting things. I love to expand my creativity and spend time with family. I don't want every day of my life filled with commitments and the noise of what's going on outside my four walls. As I'm an introvert, I like to spend time with myself. I'm quite happy to be by myself. I can have limited amount of action mingling with people. So that's why I like to have that time where I can just free myself and free my mind. I am retired. I do like the quiet. I do like doing nothing. And if that's what I want to do, then I have worked and I have earned the right to do that and not feel guilty about it. Actually, my new phrase for 2024 is, it's not my problem. And sometimes you just got to keep on saying that over and over. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. Someone's got an issue. It's not my problem. You should have the opportunity and the choice to be able to participate in something if that's what you want to do, not have to save the world or anything like that. And if you decide to do it, then you should have the choice of saying, I can do this, but for this amount of time. I have to keep on telling myself that, as I am a fixer and I want to help out. And I know if I overcommit, then I tend to want to escape. So I want to do the opposite and walk away and then drop all my commitments and end my charity work. So I'm very protective over me stepping over the boundary and overextending myself, because I know that I will give up what I want to do is to help them, because I've overextended and now I feel burnt out. This isn't a healthy boundary for me, so I need to keep healthy boundaries. So you have to watch your resources too. Being retired, there is no income coming in from work, so you tend to have a set weekly income, whether it's from your pension. So in Australia we have pensions, whether it's from investments, like your interest in that, or savings that you're living on, or if you're doing like some little bit of work that you're getting that little bit of money coming in, whatever it is, you have to learn to live within it. Now, we're pretty frugal with our money and we do live under our means. It wouldn't be fair for my husband to support the charity organisation I work with by cutting back on our joint spending money, because I love to help out and I love to support them by funding things also. So to make this work, I make knitted dogs and I sell them. With this money, I put it back into materials to make more dogs, either to sell or to donate, which I've donated before. And I use that money generally to put back into the charities by helping them out, by buying items that they need, by items that I need to make things with. I can also sell them. They can sell the items that I make to buy stuff. And I also will buy like gifts, say morning tea or something like that. I do if I'm having a good time where I've made a lot of stuff, like a lot of dogs, and I've sold quite a bit, then there is money also for me to do my creative stuff, like, you know, drawing or knitting other things, or stickers. I love stickers and journaling and all that sort of stuff. So there's also that stuff for me to do my hobbies. My husband's not a hobby person. He doesn't really have hobbies. So for me to take our joint money and to use that to myself or to give that to others, it's not fair on him. And I think I get so much satisfaction out of helping people, being able to give my time and money. And I don't want to hurt my relationship with my husband or our financial situation, and I don't want conflict. So he sees that I'm happy. He knows this is a self-funded project, and he tends to support that. And it's a way of being able to me be myself, him be himself, and it not affect our partnership as a couple. Actually, he supports my volunteer work when we travel quite a bit. He encouraged me to go to shop for yarn. Now, I don't know how to say this, but I have given my husband an incentive to help me be able to buy yarn. Now, this is how it works. I offered him an incentive, and with every 20 balls of yarn, we're talking about 50 gram balls of yarn, so it's not huge balls of yarn. Where every 20 balls of yarn, I will give him something that he wants. And we won't go into turning the lights off and, you know, experiencing things there. But he gets benefit out of it, believe me, in other ways. I also have to have boundaries for my family. Now, I love my family and my husband, but I refuse to use my valuable time satisfying their needs. And before you get your back up about what I've said, let me explain. I will bend over backwards for my family, especially my parents and my husband. I'll bend over backwards. But there's certain times I want to rein in those boundaries so it's not absorbing all my time or overwhelming me. My husband and I love spending time together, but there's the advantage for both that has to be when we spend time, it's not just all about him or all about me. Hubby loves to talk small talk. He loves to tell me things that have no value to my life, but he wants to tell me everything from what he ate to someone he saw or something that they said. And several times over, he wants to say this, over several days, and I hear the same thing. So I might be saying, yep, you've already told me that. Yep, you've already told me that. You've already told me that Joe Blogs, you know, had a pair of blue shorts on that day and went down to the fishing hole. Whatever it is, it's sort of like little details where he could just give me the big picture and then I could say, well, can you give me more details? And I'm not demeaning that's what he wants to say. It may be old age, but I think it's more likely him, as I can't remember when he wasn't like this. He will talk the small stuff, but avoids the meaningful stuff, like the feelings or the challenges of a relationship. He finds it hard to deal with that sort of stuff. It's like getting blood from a stone to get him to open up about what he's feeling or what it means. He's more like, oh, what am I going to say? What does she want to hear? And honestly, I just want to hear what is really in his heart, not what he thinks I want to hear. So this also comes time for me to say, oh, yes. When I go to say to him, oh, this is going on, he will cut me off and he changes the subject right back to what he wants to tell me. So if I'm telling him, look, you know, I've had a hard day today and this is what's going on, he will go, oh, well, this is going on and this is this and this and this. And it sort of negates what I'm feeling and what I'm saying. He doesn't do it to be spiteful. He doesn't do it because he's a nasty person. He just has got a habit of cutting people off and wanting to get out what he wants to say. So our hubby's away for 6 months at the moment. So I set up boundaries and said to him, because as a security measure, we were to speak every day. He is going like in the sticks and, you know, like off road and that. So we wanted to talk every day at a certain time. And I said to him, for 30 minutes each night, you can talk to me. In other words, I'll give him 30 minutes on the phone to tell me everything he wants to tell me. So he better prioritize what's important, because 30 minutes goes pretty fast when you're filling it with small stuff. And I kid you not, he spends 29 minutes out of that 30 telling me everything he wants to. And then at the last minute, he says, oh, how was your day? And then when I start to tell him, he tends to cut me off and then go on with his story. So he tends to go overtime with his 30 minutes. It's hard to get him off the phone. I just have to cut in and stop him from talking and just repeat myself, I love you, until he stops and says goodbye, because he will go on for a long time. I've learnt over time, and especially lately, to be less frustrated with that increasing amount of times he will go like over the 30 minutes or venture onto the hour. Mind you, for me, this is nearly 10 o'clock at night. For him, it's like 8 o'clock. Because of the time zone difference, I have earpods in. So when I'm listening to him, I've got earpods in. I can hear what is going on. I make sure I'm doing something like knitting, stuffing toys, removing stuff off my iCloud, anything that I don't have to think about, that I can concentrate on what he's saying. But I feel that I am getting more value for my time, I guess I could say, because I will allow him, I suppose it's a pretty strong word, as in allow him to go over. I'm okay with him going over his time when I'm doing something, because I then feel I'm not wasting the time. He's not cutting into my time that I wanted to do these things. So I'm still getting stuff done. I am camped on my parents' property, and I do have the occasional drop in from them. It's been more recent these days, like literally every day they're coming in, which is hard for me to have people around all the time. I do go up and see them, and it could be days that we don't actually see each other normally, and we tend to keep these visits for around an hour. It's just not that we've gone, we need to keep it for an hour. It's just something that's sort of evolved. When they come to visit, it's no more than an hour. When I go up there, it's no more than an hour when we're sitting down and chat. My kids are pretty much self-sufficient. They have their own lives. They mainly, like, we talk via text message. I don't know when they're going to be working or sleeping, because one works night shifts and the other one works shift work in a hotel. So there's not a lot of phone calls going on here, maybe here and there. The boys are not big on the communication thing. So I tend to just, send a text message, how you going, how's family, what's going on. So this is where I stand. So I would be curious what boundaries that you need to implement to better protect your time, your energy, and your resources, because they are valuable. They cannot be got back. Once your time is gone, it's gone, once it's used. I hope this video gives you something to think about. So stay safe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.